Hey everybody, I'm back. We're doing a whole new set of videos this week, and I'm so glad my very first video was with my good friend Lauren Olson down in Texas. How are you, Lauren?
I'm great, Allan. I'm just happy to be back to work.
Well, I know that feeling for a lot of people. Now, I had to get your name correct. So it's the Radiance Advanced Skin and Body Care Center, and you're in the Woodlands in Houston, Texas, right?
Yeah, well, here in Texas, we do things big. And so our previous catastrophe was Harvey. And I had damage to my sign, and people had told me for years, I've been going by your business for 5, 10 years, and I never knew what you did. So I thought, now's a great opportunity. We actually went through the legal process of changing our name with the state. So we are Radiance Medical Aesthetics and Wellness.
Medical Aesthetics and Wellness,
Yes.
MEW. I'm going to write it down and I'll remember. So you obviously have been closed in Texas for the last number of months too, but you opened, was it last week now?
Medical, we opened 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And then the rest of the spa, the estheticians, the cosmetologist started Tuesday of last week.
Okay, and zip back with me. Was there EILP or PPP money or anything available for you down there as well?
Yes, I applied for the PPP and got it on the first round.
Touche. That's because you were fast and quick and early. So,
well, and that speaks to having all of your financials in order and, having all of that organized.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to that point too as I write my notes, because it is so quick. This is when people find out, you might diddle around your finances, but when it comes to like being ready and being in order, when you have a crisis like this, you better be pretty good and organized about what it is with your
That's correct, yeah.
finances. Did you have any issues with therapists who said, we're going to sit on unemployment a little bit longer, we're not ready?
Well, what I did was we continued to stay in touch. When we were working, we had a morning huddle every morning with all of the employees. And so I decided to continue that even after we closed. But we decided to do it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday morning at 10 o'clock, and we did it through Zoom. And because they were not on payroll, they were not required to participate, but the majority of them did. And I also felt that as a leader, I needed to buoy them up because people were scared. They were worried, they were unsure, and they kept asking me questions that we're waiting on the president, we're waiting on the governor, we're waiting on Congress, and I don't have a crystal ball, but I felt that it was really important to keep everyone in the loop. And then as we got closer to opening, I anticipated that some might decide to enjoy that extra $600 a week. And so I told them, I said, you all understand that unemployment pay is for an emergency situation and it will end. But we have to think of long term. And I told them what was going to be required for forgiveness of the PPP. And I heard an example that if you're sitting on an airplane and there's a delay for 15 minutes, you're okay with that. But when it gets into 30 minutes, you're waiting for the flight attendant or the pilot to come on and at least give you an update. Because if not, you sit there and start imagining the worst. And so I thought about that with my employees. And so I just kept them informed every step of the way.
Lauren, that was 3 times a week. You said you were just having these kind of stand-up meetings, if you will, or Zoom meetings, right? And did you have, you've got to have a number of people on your team who are like, let's get open, right? Who are more engaged in work than the couch.
Right.
Got it. So during the course of waiting to get open, online education, what were you doing? What was the process? Because you can't really tell them what to do, correct?
Correct. Well, at first, when they were still on the payroll, because I paid them until through the end of March, even though we were closed. And so I thought it was a great time for us to start creating training modules. So I gave each of the estheticians a particular service and asked them to create a training module, and then asked them to create a skill certification exam on that particular service. So while they were on payroll, they did that. And then when they were not on payroll, I would send out, and they knew it was not required, but they know me and they know that we are professionals, and as professionals, we have a responsibility to stay trained continually and to stay educated. And so every vendor that we do business with, every pharmaceutical company was sending me emails about free webinars that were occurring. And so I would pass that on to them, and that pertained to their area of expertise. And so many of them did do those. They were
Wonderful.
They were bored.
Yeah.
You know?
Lauren, was there a difference between opening aesthetics versus massage versus medical?
Well, massage officially is not open yet here in Texas.
Okay.
So when our governor said that, and it was very vague, the way it was worded was, what is the term?
It's vague.
Non-essential medical procedures could not be performed unless it did not take away from COVID hospital beds and it did not take away from hospital required PPE. And I thought, well, what we do doesn't take away from hospital beds or PPE. And so I'm a member of several professional organizations, and I was just tapping into all of those organizations, tapping into attorneys, tapping into colleagues in the area. And so I didn't open as early as some medical offices did, but we ultimately did open on, I guess it was April 23rd, no, sorry. See, I don't even know what month or day it is, right?
I know we talked about that before we started taping. If it ends in a Y, it's a work day. That's all.
Right. Anyway, so we open on a Thursday.
Right. So Lauren, how about during the course of the 2 months you were not open, how are you keeping in touch with your clientele?
So we have a membership program, and that first week or two, I kept 3 employees on staff, my manager, my nurse who was still running our weight loss program, and a medical assistant. And so they were calling our clients who are on our membership, our top 20%, you know, they say the top 20% of your clientele bring 80% of your business. So they were just calling, and it wasn't to sell them anything. It was just, we're thinking of you. Do you need anything? Are you okay?
Which people appreciate more than anything, because you said it yourself. People have been in a fear-based world, right, the last 2-3 months.
Right.
And we're in a trust-based world, the way that we operate in the spa channel. So it's really amazing how divergent those two things have become.
Yes. Yeah. So we were open in medical for 1 week before we opened the rest of the spa.
Okay.
And so we created our own PPP, our patient protection program, and we sent that out with all of our appointment confirmations. And when we had to call for confirmations, we went over that. And so when they arrived, at first we had them calling from their car, but our phones were ringing off the hook, and our front desk, our guest service ladies, couldn't take calls from people sitting in their car and answer the phone to make appointments. So we asked them to just come to the door. We kept the front door locked. We actually had tape outside the front door, 6 feet apart. Within the spa, we had tape in front of 2 registers for checkout. And then throughout the hallways, we had tape 6 feet apart. And so when they came to the front door, they had to fill out a questionnaire that we have on our iPads. And rather than having them touch the iPad, they had a stylus that we wiped down after each interaction. And so they had to answer all the questions that we all have to answer, right? Do you have fever? Have you been exposed to anyone with COVID? Have you traveled? And then we created a waiver so that they could not hold us at fault if they got sick. That we took their temperature, and then they were passed off to a medical assistant who then took them back to a treatment area. Their photos were taken. They signed the consent. I had a medical assistant in the room with me, assisting me. And then when I finished with the patient I was seeing, They basically switched places, and one medical assistant walked the patient who had been treated to the front, and then we wiped down the room, then the next patient was brought in.
Lauren,
and I'm actually seeing Botox patients every 15 minutes.
Awesome. I'm sure your team is wearing masks, the right PPE, gloves. What are you requiring clients coming in the door to wear or do? And do they bring it themselves, or are you supplying it?
Well, we ask them to not come with children or another family member. They are asked to wear a mask. If they don't have one, we give them one. And all of our staff has masks on.
And with the signing of the form, I can't even imagine that's an issue with any of your clientele, right?
No, it hasn't been. However, one lady said, when they called to confirm her appointment, she said, I just think these masks are silly. I don't think they're helpful. And I have to be true to myself, and I'm not going to wear a mask. And they didn't know, she said, I'm going to reach out to Lauren. And they didn't know what to say to her. And I didn't think that I'd ever have to create a statement for something like that. So I emailed her back. I emailed her and I said, knowing you, I know that you've put a lot of thought into this and I respect your opinion. And my opinion aside, I have to follow the guidelines and the mandates of the CDC, OSHA, the Texas Medical Board, and the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. So please let us know if you'd like to reschedule your appointment or if you don't mind wearing your mask for your short 15-minute appointment. Yeah. And so she said, I understand and I'll wear my mask, and she came in.
You know, God bless her, but Lauren, you know this, my dad, may he rest in peace, he used to always say, there's always a lowest common denominator, right? There's always someone, it's me, it's about me, I want to do it my way. But unfortunately, masks they may look stupid and she may or he may not like them, but guess what? We're all wearing them these days when we go in public. This is just the nature of the beast. How have you started any actual marketing past how are you doing with your clientele?
All of our marketing has really been upbeat. It's been encouraging. One of the things that we thought people are going to need help with after they come out of quarantine is losing a few pounds, getting in shape. We have a medical weight loss program. We have cool sculpting. We have cool tone. So, and we don't have to promote our Botox right now. We're booked 98%. And our estheticians, now that they're booked, are booked 98 to 100%. So one thing that we are going to be promoting is our weight loss and our body sculpting.
How many treatment rooms for aesthetics?
I have 3 facial rooms.
Yep.
2 medical rooms.
Yep.
1 cool sculpting, our body sculpting room, and 1 massage room.
And massage not open anyways right now, so right. It doesn't.
And then 1 other medical room that our gynecologist uses once a week.
Got it. And Lauren, you're busy, obviously. You're in a unique area, but you're busy and your reputation precedes you in our market anyways. What would you tell people who are going to watch this video? What are the top 2 or 3 things? I'm guessing finance is one of them. Have your financials in order. But give me the top 2 or 3 things to get open that you look back and go, God, I'm glad we did this, or I wish I would have done this differently.
So I'm glad that I don't have booth renters because in calculating your payroll to apply for the PPP, you need 941s. We have, of course, all of the tips that are paid through credit cards are accounted for, and we encourage our technicians to claim their cash tips. And so all of that enabled me to get the most out of the PPP.
Okay.
About 4 years ago, we converted from a commission-based spa, medical spa, to a team-based culture. And that team-based culture has been immeasurable. The camaraderie, the support that our team members have for each other and supporting each other through this, and the desire to come back so that they can be a team again.
Oh, I love it. Lauren, last question, and I'll let you run because I know you're busy. Two questions, actually. One, have you had to space out treatment time at all?
Our appointments tend to be staggered anyway. It's just the nature of them. We have 1-hour services with 15-minute turnaround time, and we talked about, do we need to extend that turnaround time for cleanup? And, you know, being a medical facility, we're practicing these procedures all the time anyway. So that 15 minutes allows for cleansing and disinfecting of the room and doorknobs and all of that.
Okay. And last question, have you changed your pricing on your menu at all for anything? Because
No.
people, you know, are asking if they should add a COVID or a cleansing fee. I said no. I don't think it's the right thing to do right now.
I don't think so either. It's just the cost of doing business.
Yeah. Do you know Patty Byro, a friend to you and me and our director of education for the association, originally a Michigander, always says she couldn't get to Texas fast enough. And I know it's because of people like you, Lauren. So thank you a ton. I miss seeing you in person. We're going to hug at some point again. I know we are.
Yeah.
We just don't know when yet.
My best to you, Allan, and all of our spas and medical spas out there. And everybody be safe and well.
Good. God bless you, Lauren. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Allan.